So now that I have the enclosure done, I'm all worked up and excited about printing some filaments other than PLA and PETG. So I thought I'd start with the old standby that drove us all crazy, ABS, because ABS loves to warp. It's hard to print anything of any size without the edges warping up and the whole thing going to hell in a handcart. So now that we're enclosed, let's try some ABS. I got my ABS on here. Brand of this, I think, is Ziltech. I've had it sitting on the shelf for several years, probably. Change PLA to ABS and start. Okay, while that's heating up, let me tell you that I am going to print something that's a plate holder. I got this plate stand off of Thingiverse. I kind of like something about the way it's designed, and for some reason ArcaSlicer with Flashforge for the Flashforge doesn't have an ABS, so I went to Flash Print. It does have an ABS configuration in it, so I just stuck it in there, accepted all the defaults, and I'm going to say print. This is a 0.6 hardened nozzle too, by the way. Now I got to find the lid, and I'm thinking about this lid. I'm not really that amazingly happy with it just sitting up there loose, but I'm also thinking about what I want to do. Obviously hinging it that way would suck, so I'm thinking about, and it probably won't fit like this. No, of course it won't fit like that. I'm thinking about hinging it over on this side so it hinges up like that. Thinking about it, haven't made up my mind yet. I have not done anything to the bed for this print. It probably has some hairspray left on it because I like to give things a light coating of hairspray. All right, I'm going to send this print and we're going to get started. Okay, there we go. As you can see, it prints flat and then it folds up, and it's got a hinge in the middle. It's going to heat the bed to 105, and it's going to heat the nozzle, I think if I remember right, it said 250. So there is the finished part. I have given it 15 or 20 minutes to cool down before opening the closure and taking it out, but let's get a look at it. I don't see any warpage at all. There's no warpage at all. It's got a pretty good sized brim around it, but the brim also doesn't really seem to be attached to the main part. So it's more like a skirt than a brim. Let's get it off of there. Whoops. And it was going to be in two pieces. So here it is. So there it is, and it is perfectly flat. There is zero warpage in that at all. And it's going to fit together. It's going to fit together like that, and there's going to be a piece of filament or welding wire or something that goes down between there. All right, that worked out so well. Let's print something out of ASA. This is white ASA filament, and requires 220 to 250 C nozzle temp, and bed temp, does it say 50 to 100? So I'm assuming there's a preset for ASA. If not, I'll probably just use the ABS one because that is pretty similar. I have already got the filament in and mounted, and of course the label's on the back, but hopefully there you can see this is ASA, and I'm not 100% sure why, but in the past I have found ASA to be a little bit even more challenging as far as warping is concerned than ABS was. So I am going to print a tool holder that I downloaded off of Cults. I think it was 85 cents, and for my Heart tools. And the reason I'm printing this out of ASA is because it is going to go outside and or out in my garage where it gets very hot or has to deal with UV, or both, or one or the other, or you know. Oh, and I've got an impromptu printer light. Check it out. I bought this someplace. I think I paid $5 for it. There you go. Printer enclosure light. Oh, that light's gonna flicker, isn't it? Well, it's a good light for me to see, but apparently it's not a good light for the video. There, it doesn't flicker on high, does it? But that's awful bright. How about there? Yeah, it flickers there a bit. Huh, it's funny. That sucks. It flickers there. All right, well, maybe we won't use it. Or maybe I'll use it here and we'll see how horrible it is. Anyway, the leveling is complete. I am going to tap home and I am going to send the part. I'm doing this in Flashforge. Because of the way this part is designed, it has to be printed like a tower, which is going to give it the best opportunity to warp. I'm going to try it first without a brim or a raft. And if it warps, well, you know what? Then we'll try adding the raft. So this basically uses the built-in ASA settings, which at cursory glance look just like the ABS settings for me, but let's give it a go, see what happens. Okay, this is printing with a bed temp of 105 and a nozzle temp of 250, and honestly, I won't be at all surprised if this warps and pulls free of the bed. Just the way it's printing, just the orientation it's printing in kind of makes me think it probably will. But like I say, I have never had great luck with ASA, even in my enclosed Ender 3, where I was getting fine prints with nylon and ABS and even some polycarbonates. I was having problems with ASA. I don't know if you can see it, but it has already lifted over in the corner on the right hand side. I could hear it creak and pop. I'm gonna let it go. Like I say, this is just a tool holder. If it completes, I don't care that a corner warped. Okay, well, it has now come completely off the bed, so I'm gonna have to stop it. And I will try a raft. Okay, here we go, starting with the raft first. Hopefully the raft will cure this. Not, we will try the glue stick. And for those of you who might be interested, this is what the enclosure looks like in a thermal imaging camera. So as you can see, and of course, I don't know how the clear panels are affecting that. Certainly those clear panels prevent any kind of draft from entering, although there are some notable gaps. It could be closed up with some better designed, tighter fitting parts or some weather strip, but it obviously isn't insulated to any great degree. Trying to do that with the tripod, and it isn't easy to do. So yeah, that might be fooling the thermal imaging camera. I might be getting the temperature readings. God dang it, chair, tripod, let me go by. I may be getting the readings off of the inside pieces instead of off of the outer of the enclosure, just because of those clear panels. Should have taken the camera off the tripod before I did that. Anyway, there you go. That's what it looks like in a thermal imaging camera. Well, so far so good. It seems to be staying attached to the bed. If you look really closely, and you probably can't see it from your vantage point, the corners of the raft have lifted. But the part seems to be staying adhered. We'll see. It's got another 10 minutes to go. Okay, there you go. Came loose from the bed again. Almost got done. Only had like 6-7 minutes left, but nope. Let's try it again. This time let's put some of the glue stick. I'll clean the bed, level it again, and put glue stick on it. Okay, so far so good. I don't see anything lifting up yet. Got 9 minutes left. Okay, there we go. That completed. Let's get it out. Didn't stick very much, but it stuck well enough. And that's going to take some work to get that raft off. Okay, that worked out really well. I'm kind of surprised. Good looking part too. No problems, no issues there at all. Had to take a short break because my wife wanted a custom-sized garbage can. So there you have it, one garbage can. Since I know you're all going to jump on me about drying my filament, I have had my roll of nylon, what's left of it anyway, and one of the rolls of polycarbonate drying at 75 degrees C for about 5 hours now. All right, it's time for polycarbonate. This is the Gizmo Dorks polycarbonate. I have never once gotten a successful print out of this, and honestly, I don't have a lot of hope for it now. It spent 4 to 6 hours in the dryer at 75 C. It's in a dry box now. It's completely enclosed in Bowden tube. It goes in there, and the humidity here in the desert today is 12%. So I am going to be printing a small rope tensioner, and I got a preset for Orca slicer that's meant for Polymaker Polymax. I'm going to go with that. I have the Flashforge glue stick on the bed. I'm going to level first. So here we go. Bed temp here is going to be 105 C, and I believe the nozzle temp is 270. Okay, so you can't see it because of the light, but nozzle temp is at 272 and the bed is at 104. And there's glue stick on it, so let's see what happens. Is it better with the light or without the light? There's filament going all over the place. I'm telling you, nothing wants, this stuff just doesn't want to stick to anything. See if I can get that trail off of there. Here we go. And there's no raft on this either. I probably should have turned the raft on, and I kind of forgot. Probably should slow it down. It's a complete mess. I'm going to slow the settings down, and I'm going to put a raft on it. We'll see if that helps. I mean, it was trying, it was getting there, but it wasn't going to stick. Go. The raft is turned on. I have a 3-layer raft. I turned the skirt or brim off. I put more glue on it, and I slowed the print speed down by 2/3. It's now printing at 50 millimeters per second instead of either 120 or 150. Okay, the raft is going down nice. Don't know if you can see it, but it's already lifting off the raft on the left side. That's the problem with this filament. It just warps so much, nothing will hold it down to the bed. I may go ahead and get a successful print out of this, because it isn't that much bigger, but and I scaled this up 50%. Uh-oh, what's that all about? Oh, it's done. So I did get a successful print, even though it did lift. You can see on that edge how it did kind of appear like it's lifting out of the raft. Let me get that raft off of there. That came off pretty easy. Okay, despite the fact, you know, if you can see it here, let me turn the light off. Maybe that washing it out, it's so bright. You can see this edge kind of has a bow to it where it lifted up, but that absolutely is a usable print. The first one of that filament that I've ever gotten. I have the Polymaker Polylite PC. I want to do that next, and I kind of want to see if I can't keep it warm. I'm going to put some more glue stick right in that same spot, and I'm just going to come and swap the filament and print the next one. All right, same part, same exact settings. This time we're using the Polymaker Polylite PC, which I have had reasonably good luck with in the past. It's interesting how this stuff lays down. It lays down kind of like it's gooey and sticky, which, I mean, it's molten plastic, so, but it almost lays down more like molten mozzarella cheese than it does molten plastic. And you can see the difference between the two polycarbonates. They are not the same. I may have to actually get a roll of the Polymaker Polymax and see how that works. All right, I don't know if you can tell it from where you're looking at there, but this one did not lift. This one stayed flat on the bed all the way, all the time. This is definitely an easier to print polycarbonate filament than the Gizmo Dorks. And that's what I discovered the last time too. That this filament simply, it either warps less or it adheres to the bed better, one of the two. I got to keep these separate here, but I think they're both reasonably good prints. But ouch, that's hot. You can definitely see the difference in appearance of them. Let me mark the Gizmo Dork one so I can tell them apart. Hang on. Okay, here's the two pieces here. I put a G, I don't know if you can see it, I put a G on the one that was made with the Gizmo Dorks, and the one I'm holding in my right hand is the Polymaker. And the Polymaker filament stuck to the bed better, stuck to the raft better. Is it a better print? I don't know. Is it as strong a part? I don't know that either, but I know it's easier to print. Also, if I turn them on the sides, it's kind of subtle, but you can see where this one, the one on the bottom, was lifting off. There's a little bit more of a fillet there than the author meant there to be. But I actually printed both of them on this, which is pretty good. Getting anything out of that Gizmo Dorks is pretty impressive to me, because that's the first successful print I've really ever gotten out of it. Even small ones. After the second or third layer, it would pull off the bed. Is that the better bed surface? Is that the better enclosure than my old Ender 3? Is that the Flashforge glue? I don't know. Let's try the nylon next. So this is the Tolman Bridge nylon. As you can see, I've printed quite a bit of this spool. I never really had that much problems printing this on the one Ender 3 I had once I enclosed it. Had pretty good luck with it, so I'm expecting the same here. Let me get it loaded. Settings for the Tolman Bridge nylon are going to be a 70°C bed temp with a 255° nozzle. That's what worked for me on the enclosed Ender 3, and I'm going to hope they work here as well. We're printing the same part with a raft. Print speed is still down around 50 millimeters per second. Okay, there we go. As you can see, that printed perfectly fine. I have never really had much trouble printing the nylon, the Tolman Bridge nylon. It has always printed pretty nice for me. Got a nice flexible feel to it. Nowhere near as flexible as TPU, but definitely has a fair amount of give to it without breaking. Great material for certain things. Great chemical resistance, impact resistance. Really is a nice filament to print with. Not sure all nylons would be like that, but the Tolman Bridge nylon certainly is. And I hate to do it, but I have one more filament to try. And it's out drying now, and that's the POM. I have never gotten a successful print with the POM filament, not even little tiny things. But let's give it a try. What do we got to lose? All right, last filament I have to test is POM. And see which side is the label on. There we go there. You can see the label, POM filament. Forget who made this POM. And again, this is a filament that I have never had one successful print with. Not a single one, not the tiniest little thing. And I have tried glass as a bed. I have tried blue painter's tape. I have tried PEI. I tried drywall tape. I tried, what else did I think I tried wood too, or fiberboard. I even went out and bought a Delrin sheet to try and print on Delrin. Oh, and I tried ABS slurry too. So I don't really think this is going to work. I think I have some maybe better settings than I had last time, but I don't know. I've slowed the print way down. I have taken some, I've read some of people who had at least claimed they had success with it. I don't know. So we are going to try that. This is the same part. And these are just my new settings. I'm going to level first. And away we go. Yeah, I think that's pretty hopeless. This stuff just does not stick to hardly anything. Certainly doesn't stick to PEI and glue stick. I mean, it prints nice enough, if only it would adhere. But its lubricity is just so high that it just doesn't want to stick to anything. So I think what I'm going to do, I have no clamp right now that will clamp and stay inside of the enclosure. I might find something for the sides, but yeah, I'm going to stop that. That's pointless. And I'm going to try a lower bed temp just for sport and amusement. I don't think it'll make any difference, but I'm going to try it. I mean, look at that. I mean, it tried to stick a little bit. Ouch, that's hot. I got the bed maxed out at 110. I'm going to try and print at a lower bed temp and see if that does anything. Let me reslice that and we'll try it. Okay, I lowered the bed temp down to 70 just for sport and amusement. Nozzle temp is going to stay the same. I'm not going to re-level the bed. And if this fails, I think I'm going to try blue tape. And then if that fails too, I think I'm just going to put the POM back on the shelf and admit that I can't print with it. I hate to do that. I hate to end this on a failure, but I kind of had a feeling that's what was going to happen. Well, okay, that's a complete failure right off the bat. I think this thing just needs a higher bed temp than anything I've ever owned can achieve. So I'm going to stop that because that's utterly pointless. Something about this thing being at on a surface that's a different temperature just totally changes the lubricity and makes it even slicker than it normally would be. So let's try painter's tape and then I'm going to call it quits. Okay, there we go. I'm honestly not sure if I should put glue stick over top of the painter's tape. Going to try it without it at first, and I'm going to go back to the higher bed temp, the 110 bed temp, and I'm going to stick with the same nozzle because I think the closer you can get the bed and the nozzle to the same temp, the more likely it is to stick. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting. I got to re-level it, obviously. All right, that's a complete and total failure. Going to stop it. So there you have it. That is my initial test of polycarbonate, ASA, nylon, ABS, and Delrin on the enclosed Flashforge Adventure 5M. As you can see, I did pretty good. The ABS turned out nice. The ASA turned out nice. The 2 polycarbonates worked. The nylon worked. And yes, I realize these are small prints. I wanted to stick to the realm of the more possible in this video, just to have a few wins under my belt. Plus, that filament's pretty expensive, and I don't really have anything that absolutely needs to be printed out of it right now. So this is doing at least as well, if not better, than the enclosed Ender 3 did. I never got a successful print of the Gizmo Dorks polycarbonate on that printer, but I did on this one. Even the small ones on the enclosed Ender 3 were failing on me. Not sure what's going on. Is that just the bed material? Is that the glue? Is that higher heat bed? Don't know, but it worked on this and it didn't work on the enclosed Ender 3. And of course I got the Delrin, exactly what I expected out of the Delrin. Total failure. And until I have something that really needs to be printed out of the Delrin, I don't know that I'm going to continue battling over it. It's going to be a very, very difficult material to print. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope that gave you a little bit of information on what you might be able to accomplish with the A5M if you enclose it. And hang around my next video on this printer. I think I'm going to be putting a light inside and adding the Flashforge video camera as well. So thanks for watching. There'll be links of some sort or another below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'd sure appreciate it if you would subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye for now.